Hello everyone, I am back at it again today. Hopefully you can see my screen. Sorry for my squeaky chair if you can hear that, but we are diving into the digestive system and metabolism, and it's going to be a fun module. I know it's been a lot this quarter. There's a lot of work in A&P. It feels like it's probably overwhelming at times, but you're doing a good job. Keep at it. I know this methodology works, and I know that there's a lot of learning going on, even when you feel overwhelmed. Okay, and the other thing is make sure you're reaching out to me if you need help, if you need more assistance. There's been a lot of people who have benefited from reaching out to me and asking questions and getting the help they need. So make sure you're doing that to take advantage of me as the instructor. You know, I've put a lot of work into designing these courses and designing the assignments, but you know, it's necessary sometimes to just have that one-on-one or just a little bit of clarification. So remember, you have my phone number. You can get a hold of me with messaging, or you can email me, or set up a Zoom meeting with me to meet where we can see each other and actually see a face. So, which sometimes is nice in this era where some people are more closed in. I'm lucky to be on campus and have basketball going on and get to be around people, but not everybody has that situation right now. So let's dive into digestive system. So right here you can see we got I got a few PowerPoints on here for you, as well as the study guide. Make sure you're using that study guide. I know I've said this every module, but really make sure you're using the study guide to focus your reading notes and your video watching notes. You know, those are, as you go through your videos and readings, you can take notes in those areas. Whether that means you should print it out or make a Google Doc out of it, whatever works for you. Make sure you utilize those study guides, because those things can help basically organize your whole learning process for the two modules for digestive system, and can be helpful to have in your lap or next to you while you're working on the assessment. Those PowerPoints are there for you to use if you want to. Not everybody likes those sort of things. And sometimes they don't contain all the information because they were designed to be talking points, but they do hit on the most important concepts, which can be helpful, and you can fill in the gaps with your reading and videos. Case study team discussion will be the first thing you'll start to dive into. Digestive system is a 2-week unit, again, just to make sure we have time and aren't cramming it in. So you'll have a week 9 that covers the digestive system as well. So make sure you realize that and plan your time accordingly. But the case study discussion is always good to get started on earlier, right? And get in there and read about it and see what's going on. I know some people aren't participating as well as they need to, but remember, in order to get your full points, it isn't just about having the right information, it's participating with your team, discussing it, because that's part of the learning process and really helps you with physiology and understanding the unique processes and how systems work together. So make sure you're looking at that. You're going to dive into chapter 23 in this first module, which is the digestive system. You got a TED Ed video there, and the digestive system learning module right here is an actual full module on Khan Academy that goes through all the different areas. So this is what it looks like. So you got the GI tract, the mouth, the teeth, the esophagus, stomach, small intestines, liver, the hepatic lobule. That talks about the liver and what the hepatic portal system is involved in terms of the digestion process. You're going to look at the pancreatic function. So there's a lot of things in here that are going to be helpful. The team discussion is right here, so make sure you're diving into that. You're learning about Noah. Noah is my son, but this is not about him. Sometimes I run out of names, so I get to use my family's names. So Noah is a 12-year-old boy, and he lives in a rural town. Noah's been having the following symptoms, and you'll have to dive further into that. And I give you the doctor findings. I wanted to make sure I give them to you now, because sometimes when I want to put it off for a week, we get busy and don't get them in there in time. So I just gave them to you ahead of time to dive into. And make sure you're always analyzing this through a digestive system for this one, or whatever system you're on. This one just happens to be digestive, so make sure we're looking at it through that lens. Then you're going to have a form and function lab, You don't have any lobster simulations in this week. You'll have 2 next week to dive into some glucose and diabetes related uh, activities and functions. But this week we're going to look at the histology and function of the digestive system. So you're going to dive into the tissues that make up the GI tract or the gastrointestinal tract, and you're going to look at how their form determines their function, and you're going to look at some other related functions, and I'll pull the assignment up just so you can see it. But you're going to look at some review information on epithelial tissue that you should have looked at back in 241, and we're going to dive into it again. And you're going to look at the different types of tissues that are found in the GI tract, specifically looking at the small intestines, which is where most of the or all of the absorption takes place. And you're going to look at things like simple columnar epithelium, villi and microvilli, goblet cells, and the brush border. And all of these play critical roles in the ability of our bodies to absorb the nutrients we need and make sure we're balancing the necessities in our body, okay, to make sure we're getting the right nutrients and getting rid of the things we don't need. Okay, and all of the simple columnar epithelium are designed so their form, their structure is a specific way that determines their function. That's how nature works. Form determines function. So you want to make sure you pay attention to that and how they're created or developed, and then how that relates to their function and why that's important for the small intestines. Okay, so make sure you complete that assignment, and then per the usual method, after that assignment, you have a self-evaluation quiz for this assignment. The Digestive System Histology Lab self-evaluation quiz. Now, sometimes you mess up on those and click the wrong answer. Just email me and I'll make the adjustment. You don't need to retake it. I'll go in there and adjust the points for you and make sure you get those. Those self-evaluation quizzes aren't meant to be punitive. They're really meant to make sure you know what you're doing, to get the right answers, to get the feedback right away, give you the points for the effort and labor you're putting into your assignments, and help you on the process of learning towards the final assessment. I have a optional handout in here, but this would be very helpful prior to doing this cool assignment that you actually are going to turn in, and I will look at and grade because I always love to look at the creativity and uniqueness of these. But you're going to create a tourist brochure of a digestive system. Now, be creative, and there are specific instructions for it that you'll want to follow, but this could be a video push, more of a video tour. It doesn't have to be a hard copy paper Word document type brochure. If you want to do a video or an animation or something, be creative. But think about the GI tract as a tourist site, and you are trying to come up with a cool, creative way to get people interested in the GI tract, kind of like a magic school bus type thing. So if you don't know what magic school bus is, after this video, go look it up. One of my favorite shows as a child was the Magic School Bus, and they have new ones now that you can actually watch, I think on Netflix or Prime or something. Also, I have another assignment. It's not an assignment, but a helpful activity that you can use as you complete the tourist brochure as well. So there's supportive documents there to help you make sure you're completing that assignment. All right, those are the activities you're going to work through this week. When we look at the digestive system, make sure you really consider the structure of the digestive system and their function. Okay, if you think about the esophagus is designed to just move materials, which is why it goes through peristalsis and is why it has smooth muscle wrapped around it. And that smooth muscle helps push the food down to the stomach. The stomach is designed to churn food like a mixer. It churns it up. It mixes it up to get it into a substance that can be digested more and absorbed more in the small intestines. And there is digestion, chemical digestion that occurs in the stomach versus mechanical digestion, which is like our teeth chomping in our mouth. So that's the other thing to think about is you have this chemical digestion that is occurring and you have mechanical digestion that is occurring. And it's important to think about those functions as you go through the different areas of your digestive tract. And the last area that you want to pay attention to is the large intestines. The large intestines is basically your colon, and it actually wraps around basically outside of your whole abdominal region. It kind of encases that whole area. Starts on the lower right side of your abdomen and goes up, comes up towards your head, goes a transverse across, and then goes back down and goes to your rectum. And that's where the process of vitamin synthesis and uh, fecal matter production takes place. And so it's important to know that process and understand how that works and the structure of the large intestines. And it's also important to note that the appendix comes off of the large intestines as well. So make sure you pay attention to the structure, the function, and the unique uh, physiological processes that occur in the digestive tract. And then you'll be ready to dive into week 9, where I'll actually have some models to show you in the week 9 intramodule, because we'll talk about diabetes and some digestive disorders. So hope you're having a great week. Hope you're staying on top of your work. Please reach out to me if you need help, and I look forward to talking to you soon.